Press Start Podcast.
And welcome back to the Press Start Podcast. I'm your host, Vic, aka Mr. Never Chill, and this is episode number 132. And this week I do welcome back Roger, aka Lunatic Oblivion. How's it going, friend?
Hey guys. How's the week treating you?
Um, it's been pretty crazy, honestly. Just like dealing with
Mhm.
work, and then my daughter's health went down for a little bit, but she's back up and thriving, of course. But just been trying to get some gaming in, which we're going to talk about here, there in a little bit. Welcome Inhuman Line to the show as well. But anything new with you, man, over the past week?
No, not really. Just been playing games. Lots of games to be honest.
Yeah.
After Disney got back from New Jersey, been playing Diablo 4 again with her, and honestly, just the game feels completely different. Like
Yeah.
it feels much more inviting. It's gotten to the point where I think developers are realizing that players don't want to eat, sleep, and breathe their game.
Hmm.
They want to play other things. So like
Yeah.
I can actually sit there and not have to farm, for the perfect rolls on an item now. You can actually just buy the perfect rolls on the item with in-game currency.
Yeah, that's definitely dope. Um, honestly, I want to give Diablo 4 a chance. Just don't know when that is going to
Hmm.
be. Because there's just constantly like new games after new games after new
Hmm.
games, and it's like, man, how when do I tap into that back catalog? The backlog, and it's like, man, because like right now I'm just getting through some smaller games right now, but my next quote unquote big game, even though it's not going to take that long to play, is Hellblade 2 starting on June 1st. Because that just came out what 5 days ago, give or take.
Hmm.
Um, and that game's been doing really well. It's been getting like eights, nines, tens. I heard there's some issues with the gameplay because it's like kind of just old school kind of gameplay, but like this game was always expected to be like more of like an experience, visual and
It's a
audio cues.
cinematic thing.
Right. So like I wasn't really going into the game like, man, this better have some really crazy actionable combat and stuff. No, don't expect that at all out of that game. But
Just tell a good story and that's it.
yeah, so I'm hoping that that's going to be good because I'm really excited to check that out. It's on the list. But without further ado, man, let's actually talk about what we have been playing over the last week. And let's just kick it off with the game that me and you started playing after the podcast last Sunday, which was Halo Infinite. We're continuing our playthrough of the multiplayer, and it's been a lot of fun. I actually hopped in the other day when they released the Call of Duty Zombies like maps or map. They,
Hmm.
they released Noctur
The
and
game
Totem,
mode.
yeah, the game mode into the game, and I was checking that out, and I was like, man, this shit's really badass. Like the map really looks good, and like all the like how the game works, like being able to buy the guns off the wall, and then like the perks. Buying the perks is interesting because you have to buy the perks 4 times to then get the ability. So it's like, okay, but if they're like at a reduced price, it's not like 2,500 like Juggernauts
Hmm.
normally 2,500 points. Like no, it's like 600, but you have to buy it 4 times. I was like, okay, cool. Pack a punch is really interesting because like you put in like a pistol, but then like you get like a shotgun, but it like shoots sniper bullets. Like it's really weird how it the game processes that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But overall, it was a interesting experience. I would like to play with friends. I tried to play it with randos, and that's fucking impossible. But Call of Duty Zombies was always impossible to play with randos, so
Mhm.
we're gonna have to give that a go. But what about you, man? How was your Halo experience? Did you dive into this at all?
No, I didn't play the new game mode at all, but I definitely was having fun playing last weekend when we picked it up.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I just honestly, Halo is one of those things where I'm happy to just hop in for a little bit, play for a few minutes, and just hop right back out. Like it's honestly really nice that I don't feel like I have to play every day of every week. I can just hop in once a week and for 4 weeks, and I've done the battle pass.
Right, and then not even because like thinking about it, like the battle pass being 20 tiers, like
Hmm.
you can get through that really quickly. It's also like you
Hmm.
said, it's like they're starting to realize that we cannot eat, sleep, and play one game.
Yeah,
If I want to
exactly.
bounce around, like having a 20 tier battle pass allows me to get through that one, but also go and enjoy and play another game.
Hmm.
And thinking about it, like look at all of the live service games that Microsoft has. Like if everyone played only the live service games from Xbox, it'd be crazy. Like you'd have Halo, you have Call of Duty now technically, you have Forza, whether it's Motorsport or Horizon, you got Sea of Thieves, you got Diablo 4. Like there's a ton of live service games, and they all are trying to be a little bit more approachable and easier to play and balance and be able to play more than one. So it's
Hmm.
awesome to see that. Speaking of Diablo 4, though, how's your experience, man? How's the new season treating you?
Honestly, as I said, Diablo 4, the new season, like the fact that just stuff works so easily, it's so accessible now.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just works so much better. It's genuinely really good.
So comparing this season to say last season, is this like an improvement on it, or is it kind of just like
Oh,
a sidestep?
hugely. It's a completely different game.
Okay, that
It's a
that drastic,
whole
huh?
different game now. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Like I think we talked about it last week, how like it like new seasons almost make it feel like a brand new game every single time.
Hmm.
So that it keeps that definitely would keep like people around and like alive, because like if it's like like season to season, like it's the same play,
Hmm.
like you're just grinding for new gear, like that gets kind of boring. Like that's pretty much what happened to Destiny, I think, is like grinding for gear and doing the same thing over
It's
and
just
over,
the
just
same
get burnt
grind
out. Yeah,
every yeah.
yeah. There's no way. So I want to talk about interesting game here on my list, but it's on my list because of my daughter. Is Paw
Hmm.
Patrol Mighty Pup Save Adventure Bay. Um, excuse me, I'll pick this up and start playing it for, I don't know, like 30 minutes, give or take, whatever her attention span is, and just like
Yeah.
be playing a game. She absolutely adores the show, but being able to play this and like sing the song with her, and she gets excited, and I give her controller, she's smashing the buttons and whatnot, and then she tries to grab my controller and dictate where we're gonna go, and I'm like, but we gotta go over here, not over there. So like that's been fun, but I could honestly see myself getting every single achievement in this game because they are that easy. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, why not? Might as well. And like a lot of the things you have to go around and like collect their pup treats, which are basically like this game kind of plays how Spyro is, like to like master a level two, like you can collect all of the gems and then like boom, you would 100% that level. And that's what I'm
Hmm.
basically doing in this game. Just going around trying to collect all those, and if I miss one, I like restart the level, because some of them is like it's like a automatic runner, and like if you miss one, you're like, fuck, I got to start over again. So it's like, no, I need to go back and get that bitch. So it's like, yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with that one. But
Hmm.
let's talk about another game though that I actually played and beat, was As Dusk Falls. If I'm not mistaken, I think you actually played through this last year and beat it. This was the one that I finally got through, and I'm not sure if you when you played it, if you used the incorporation into Twitch. I thought about it, but I was like,
Yeah.
when I
Disney and I
play
played it.
when I play this game, it's usually late at night, so I know I'm not going to get engagement from Twitch. So just played through it, and interesting enough, like every time like Lauren would walk by or to see me playing it, she was like, "Wow, this shit's like pretty deep, like the story and stuff." And I was like, "Holy fuck!" I really was not expecting that kind of story,
Hmm.
and how all of the paths kind of like intertwined and crossed in a way. And I was like, man. And then like at the end of each chapter, it would show you like the storyboard of like all of your
Where you could
decisions
have
could have been.
gone.
And then like,
Yeah.
but the thing is, like, you don't know what those other decisions would have led to because they're empty boxes. And it's like
Hmm.
the replayability in that game is absolutely insane. And the fact that you can go back into like certain areas and like into that storyboard, like you can pick a certain part and like, I want to start the game from here and then branch
Hmm.
off and go through the other part of the story. I'm like, I'm not doing that, but
It's
anybody
really
that's really
good.
like, there's a lot of story to that game, and I was like, fuck. So yeah, overall, great experience. I think I gave it a 8 out of 10, if I'm not
Hmm.
mistaken. It was a great game. Definitely above par than normal. Wasn't masterpiece range, but from just like because some people hopped into my stream and they're like, "Is this a Telltale game?" I was like, "No," but same concept more or less. But like this one seemed much deeper than a
Yeah.
Telltale game, because a Telltale game was like pretty much like a linear, straightforward. Like your decisions didn't really have an impact on the story. Where like everything I did in this game really had impactful
Hmm.
decisions. So overall, really enjoy that game. It's on Game Pass too, so if anyone's interested, go check that out. But Roger, let's talk about your last game before I talk about mine, which is like highlight of the week, I think. But with you, Valheim, I see everybody talking about it on Twitter. Seems like this new update has been doing really well. I knew Lunacy Arts' Discord channel is booming right now with you guys talking about that game. Seems like you're in for the long run with this game. How was the playthrough like?
Honestly, the playthrough's been pretty fun. Right now we're replaying content. We haven't even touched the new zone yet,
Mm,
but we are doing the previous mini expansion, which was the 3 dungeon expansion they added for the content between swamp and the plains. Like there was some content added, so we've only done a little bit of new content, but that's it.
Okay. Um, how much left? Like this isn't in full release. Like how much content do you think they still have left to add?
Honestly, I don't think there's much more they could do, maybe other than one more zone.
Okay, so the story's almost complete. You would say.
Hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, man. Let's talk about my last game here. And this game has it's been really good, but there's also still a lot of issues with it, and that's X Defiant. I was super excited moving into this game, and honestly, it's a great experience. Again, it's a
Hmm.
game that it's just like Call of Duty. It's fun for a couple matches, but no longer fun if you're playing by yourself. I'm sure if I play with some friends, this game could be endless amounts of fun, and the potential this game has because of the IPs that this game could tap into is crazy. Because basically, this game is going to be adding factions from basically like every Ubisoft title, and Ubisoft
Hmm.
owns a lot of IP. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, okay, the potential for this game is great. The roadmap that they have laid out pretty much has me excited. But the issues that I'm dealing with is the hit registration and the net coding, which they're having issues with from the beginning.
Hmm.
And people are putting videos up like you'll sit there and shoot and your bullets are hitting, but the person's already behind the wall, and you're like, yeah, I shouldn't have killed that person. Or it's like I know I'm lasering this person, and I'm for some reason not getting any hit markers, and then I get lasered. You're like, there's no way, bro. I literally put an entire
How did
clip
this
in.
happen?
Yeah, like there's clearly something wrong with the game, but like when the game actually works, the game's a lot of fun, and like the different game modes have been pretty cool. Like they have like the traditional domination,
Hmm.
where you capture the 3 different points and whatnot. But then they have like like hard point or headquarters where like the point moves around. You have to capture the point and then hold it, and then until it moves to the next location. But then like they also have like an escort mode, which is very similar to how Overwatch plays. Like you literally have to escort a payload to different checkpoints to then get to the end, and like it
Hmm.
has like certain timers, and like the spawn points move closer. Obviously, if you move up, the enemy team can push it back. Like it literally works almost 1-to-1 with how Overwatch plays, and I'm like, this could be really dope. But again, I'm playing this shit with randoms, so there's no
Way you're gonna win.
yeah, no communication involved in this, so there's no strategy. But like the abilities in the game are a lot of fun too, like whether you're playing as the Libertards, which are meant for like healing, or you can play as like the Phantoms, which is the Ghost Recon guys, and they can go invisible, or they can even throw down like shields where you can shoot through
Hmm.
but the enemy cannot shoot through, or their other abilities they run around with the riot shield. um and the other two I haven't really played with too much, but like I know like the other one is from Splinter Cell, and like their ultimate ability, like they get these like green goggles and they can just fucking one shot people with pistols. It's crazy, but they also have increased health. So like there's definitely a really cool balance and a wide variety right now with the
Hmm.
characters. So it's free to play, so I'm really excited for anybody that wants to check this out. We can hop into a game and play because it is cross play as well. So whether you're playing on Xbox, PlayStation, PC, does not matter. But all right, man. So that's all the games that we've been playing. There's only a couple of them coming out this week that have me excited. First off, Multiverses is getting its re-release technically on the 28th. A lot of content is coming now with this one. They have announced a lot of DLC characters that are coming. The move to the new Unreal Engine 5 is here. Like the game actually looks like it hasn't been improved, but I don't want to hear like, "Oh, this was just a beta part 2 or something." Like, no. This game is out now, guys. But I know a ton of people from Shoot to Win are super excited for this game. But the other one, man, that I'm actually excited for that's been like super under the radar and I'm trying to put it on people's maps on the map for everybody is that Hypercharge Unboxed is coming out on May 31st. And like if you like Call of Duty and you like toy soldiers, this is like a chef's kiss. Like you literally play like team deathmatch, but you're playing as toy soldiers, like different ones, like different like action figures that you used to collect and stuff like that. And it has like a very '90s, early 2000s
Hmm.
aesthetic, and it's like this game looks badass. And I've been waiting for it to come to Xbox. It's been on PC for a while, but now it's finally coming to the Xbox platform, and I believe it does support crossplay. So really eager to check this one out. But all right, man, let's go ahead and dive into the podcast meat of the episode because there's actually not that much to get to this week. It's a very short episode. I think I'm calling it the calm before the storm because I think next week we're gonna do like more predictions based episode, and then we have all the game shows that are going to be happening over the next week after that. So we're going to be
Hmm.
kind of recapping and covering that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the industry news. All right, Roger, if you want to kick us off here with the first two topics that we got here.
Sure. So, industry news: Nintendo agreed to buy Hogwarts Legacy, Mortal Kombat 1 Switch Port Studio, and the Shiver Entertainment Group. Interesting, right? Like,
Yeah,
honestly, genuinely an interesting development here. Nintendo is now trying to buy more studios.
I think
Like,
this
when's the last
helps.
time Nintendo bought something?
It's definitely been a while. I think this is actually a huge pickup because like
Hmm.
having a studio where they can basically help bring over these bigger titles to their Switch platform is going to be
Hmm.
very vital because we all know none of the Nintendo consoles have ever been like on par with PlayStation, Xbox, or even PC,
Yeah.
obviously. So like they're always like a generation or two behind. So like they need somebody who have the expertise to bring these new modern games to their console so they can at least stay relevant because obviously like they thrive off of their first party games, their exclusives like the Mario and the Zelda and the Pokemon and stuff like that. But some people who were, if this is their only console, are missing out on a plethora of other games. But this having the studio and helping them get along the way makes this a lot
Especially
easier.
because they have the ability to play online. So, like,
Mm-hmm.
this honestly has to be one of the best things for them right now is the fact that, like, now they can have these studios that'll actually be able to put forward, games on their catalog that, yeah, as you said, I'm not going to be able to play, or somebody might not be able to play because they don't have another console. They don't have a gaming PC. Now you can, and even if these are big AAA titles, they can stream them.
Yeah, yeah. So this is good, and I'm also curious to see like how this plays a part of to the next Switch, the Switch Two,
Hmm.
whatever they're going to be calling it. Like, are they going to be help porting some of the games from the OG Switch to the new Switch? Or is it just like the newer games coming to the new console? Or, like, how is this going to affect those kind of
Hmm.
games? So, only time will tell.
So next up, we have here that Amazon Studios is opening its first European studio led by Ubisoft veterans called Amazon Games Bucharest. What do you think we're going to get out of that?
I have no idea to be honest, but it's good though that they're finally opening up a studio in Europe because Europe
Hmm.
is like a hotbed right now for game development, and this just gives those game developers that also have been getting laid off over the last 2 years, like the fucking thousands of them, a chance to go to a big studio that hopefully won't close them down, but
Hmm.
we'll only see honestly. Because I think this is their
Time will
third
tell.
studio that they're gonna be that they'll have now. If I'm not mistaken. The other two are
Yeah,
here in the
because I think
states.
the primary studio does. They're the ones who do the what is the game called now?
Oh,
The
the PC and the MMO that rivaled
yes, the
WoW,
MMO that's like nobody
New
talks about
World.
anymore. Yeah, New World. I can't even remember what the game was called, man.
Yeah, you played it for like a week, and that was
It was
that.
good, but like the problem is the community. Like every big game, the community ruins games.
Yeah, we'll see, man. Because we also can't forget that they have a Tomb Raider game in development
Hmm.
with Amazon Games partnering up with Crystal Dynamics, and so I mean, hopefully they can get on track and get the ball rolling because Amazon has a shit ton of money. Like they could invest into the gaming industry at like a snap.
They're like Microsoft. They have Microsoft money.
Yeah,
They can
that's
throw it
for
around if
sure.
they truly want to. They can literally just divest funds from Amazon into the gaming market if they really want to.
Yeah. I'm actually curious to see like if they can create games that
Hmm.
also like have like Twitch integration as well, similar to like how I was just talking about like has As Dusk
Hmm.
Falls had a integration as well. So maybe we could see another game like that. But moving on
It
here,
would be
man.
interesting to see.
This is a different kind of acquisition that I didn't see coming, nor like was I expecting it or like anyway. But IGN's like parent company has acquired Gamer Network, which includes Eurogamer, VG 24/7, Game Industry Biz, Rock Paper Shotgun, and Dicebreaker. But on top of that, like Gamer Network also holds shares in Outside Xbox, Digital Foundry, which we talk about them a lot because they do like deep dives into the technical
Hmm.
aspects of games, and also Hookshot. So like IGN just scooped up a large amount of like games
The
media.
market.
Right. And I'm just like, this is a monopoly, guys. It's really about to just be like IGN and GameSpot and Game
Yeah.
Informer. That's about it.
Their voice is the only voice in town.
Yeah. So hopefully this isn't bad for the this part of the gaming industry because like it's nice to have multiple media
Views.
outlets. Yeah, so we'll see. Um the acquisitions do not end there either. This one really surprised me because Atari was like, we're going to end the first several console war by acquiring Intellivision, and I was like, okay, this was random as shit. Like, neither one of these companies have really been mainstream media in a long time per se. Like, but this one's interesting. Like, part of this acquisition is like Atari has acquired over 200 IPs from
Hmm.
Intellivision, so like the possibilities are endless. It's just like, can they modernize these older IPs? That's the biggest question I have. What's your take on this acquisition of the OG console
I
war?
don't. I honestly have no idea what to make of this, just because of the fact that like these guys, like what the last thing Atari made, I can't even remember. It was like last year. Atari was like, "We're releasing a game," and you and me are like, "What? You're doing what now?" Okay, what is it? And they're like, "We're not quite sure."
Yeah, I have no idea. Was This says Atari made Ghostbusters the video game, Test Drive Unlimited, Alone in the Dark, The Chronicles of Riddick, like just to name a few. But it's just like, okay, like Atari has a plethora of IP, but it's just like
But it's just like, what was the last big game we talked about from them?
you guess as good as mine. They do a lot of small
Yeah,
games, like really small games. I'm looking at their list of games on their website. And I'm like, yeah, I've never heard of any of these. It may be Roller Coaster Tycoon, um, which would be pretty cool if they make a new one.
yeah,
But
honestly, that's one of the games. Like simulator games are where the market's at, but like keep it simple, keep it stupid. Like people don't need all these highbrow, big over the top things that everyone's putting in these games lately. Like it just feels silly because lately everyone's like, let's put everything we can into one of these roller coaster tycoons. Like you have to be able to ride the rides, and I'm like, do we? Do we have to?
that's what I had Thrillville for.
Yeah, like, do I really need to? But honestly, it's definitely an interesting company. We'll just see what comes of it.
Mhm.
I like honestly, what was the point of the purchase?
Just to say, I finally ended the war that we started
I won.
a few decades ago. Um, but man, let's round out our industry news with the unfortunate, sad news of the Activision Blizzard that just seems to never end these days. Um, Activision Blizzard and Meta are both being sued by the families of the 2022 Uvalde Elementary School shooting. It's because they still equate that violence like this is because
Yeah.
of video games like Call of Duty.
Well, they're not specific. Like they, yes, they're suing Activision Blizzard, but it is because of Call of Duty being the number one shooter game.
Yeah, and I love how like Activision responded. They were like, "Our condolences go out to the families that blah blah blah." That part of it, and they're like, "But the world plays these games a lot, but don't have
And the
any
world
issues."
doesn't shoot each other to death.
Right. Only here in America are we the ones that struggle this bad with gun violence.
And it's the gun laws. That's all it is. Most Americans agree universal background checks. Yet here we are.
Yeah, I
How
feel like
can
it's a no
how
brainer.
can like so many other countries just treat guns with such respect, but Americans are just like the first thing that tons of Americans are do are like, I'm gonna pull a gun. That's my response to something. Pull a gun.
Yeah, and then
Why?
it's so crazy. Like this is very political, and then we're not don't want to go
Hmm.
down a rabbit hole too bad. But like here in
Yeah,
America, like when we get into gun violence, right, like mass shootings, if it's a white person, it's mental health problems. But as soon as it's like any other race, it's like, oh, he's a thug or
yeah,
something like that.
exactly.
And it's like
Yeah,
what?
I'm with you here, dude. It's like, what?
Like that
No,
doesn't make any
it's
sense to me.
not at all. But here we are.
Yeah, this is America, folks. But without further ado, man, let's go ahead and move on to the meat of the podcast with our gaming news. right, man. Kicking off here with some updates for Xbox, and I want to talk about Hellblade 2 because a lot of like negative stuffs are coming out about like the gameplay and stuff. But I told you like this game's reviewing exceptionally well, and like it's
Hmm.
the top 5 most sold game right now in the world on Steam, and to me that says a lot about this game because like we know it's an Xbox exclusive and it's on
Hmm.
Game Pass day one, but like it's on PC Game Pass, but it's still in the top 5 most sold game in the world right now. Like this game is doing numbers. It has to be
Yeah.
doing numbers, some kind of numbers.
Well, and that's the thing. Publicity. It's a sequel to a critically acclaimed game. Like it has a lot going for it. Like let's, looking back at when we talked about like Activision Blizzard or not Activision Blizzard, Microsoft shutting down their studios last week. A lot of these studios, very little press, and then they still do really well. They just don't sell because people are like, "Hey, I don't know if I want to spend my money on that yet."
Right.
But this is a game we've been talking about for what, 3 years?
4 years. It was announced alongside the Series X at the Game Awards. I'm surprised it took
Okay.
this long,
See
to be
what I
honest.
mean? Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's something we've talked about for a while now. So like if it didn't sell well, it was because the game was bad. And like that's the thing. They did well. It was highly publicized. So
Yeah.
we expect this.
And the rumor has it that Microsoft has already greenlit a third project out of Ninja Theory, which is awesome to see because of the
Hmm.
worry of them being shut down because of maybe if they don't sell enough titles or whatever. But after like the first like week, they're just like, "Yep, we're going to greenlight the next project, whether it's
Hmm.
another iteration of Hellblade or if it's like a brand new IP." Because this studio is extremely fucking talented, and I'm curious to see like what other types of games it can make. So we'll see. But I'm about to be talking for a while because Call of Duty had a ton of fucking news lately, and let's just kick it off with the banger, right? All the speculations can now be put to rest. The next Call of Duty will be called Black Ops 6. They're basically started their marketing campaign. Like, they've literally taken over like the actual newspaper in New York, and a couple of them over in Europe, where like basically it's like all over the newspapers, and they're kind of incorporate like the whole like world like mesh of in like with the game and stuff like that. Like Call of Duty's marketing stuff is absolutely insane.
Yeah. It was
Um,
very well done.
they've been riding around in fucking news vans with the shit printed on it, and like it has like this really nice like truth is a lie or something like that. Like they have a nice little slogan going on. But yeah, man, Black Ops 6. We're going to be seeing a deep dive at the Xbox showcase here in a couple weeks because that is the confirmed redacted showcase that was supposed to happen after the main showcase. Now it's
Hmm.
confirmed what it is. And for those who were wondering, like, where's Black Ops 5? That was Black Ops Cold War. They kind of ditched the number 5, but it was actually, there was a logo that was associated with the game that just got pushed to the side and they stopped using after a while. So, because everyone was wondering, oh, is this Black Ops 5? Because we never got an official Black Ops 5. But
Hmm.
here we are. Interesting enough, though, with Call of Duty, with Season 4, they're going to be getting a Gundam crossover. Really was not expecting that, but I mean, I guess with the crossover with Warhammer 40K Space Marine, now this, and then apparently the Fallout crossover, like, they're all kind of making sense in a way, but I was just like, Gundam, that's different. Like, literally, Call of Duty is just Fortnite at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it works. Why wouldn't you do the business model that just
It just
works?
works. These
Like, it just
follow the
works.
leader. Yeah.
I mean, it's just so stupidly easy to figure out.
Yeah. So speaking about season 4, they did release the what's coming out, which comes out in a few days here on the 29th. We're getting a lot with it. Getting 3 brand new maps: Tokyo, Paris, and an incline, which comes mid-season. When the trailer first came out and showed Paris, I was like, "Oh, is this the Resistance from Modern Warfare 3, the OG map?" And it looks like it's like down the street basically from this map, and I'm like, "No, okay, it's not, but all right, I'll take it, I guess." But there's also a fourth map coming. It's more of like a map variant, which is it's called Das Gross, which has come mid season. This is just like one of those like infected variants of the map Das House.
Hmm.
And then on top of that, we're getting 4 new game modes added to the game. They're not necessarily new, but some of them are. But we're getting the return of Demolition. I absolutely loved Demolition in all the older Call of Duties, so I'm really curious to see that play out in this game. But then you're also getting Hyper Cranked, where I'm not sure, Roger, if you're familiar with the original cranked playlist or game mode is like, as soon as you get a kill, you have a 30-second timer to get another kill, or you
Or you die.
explode. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I
This
remember.
this one hyper cranked is as soon as you spawn, you have a 30-second timer, and you have to get a kill, or you die again.
Oh.
So it's like as soon as it says go, you better go get a kill. No more camping.
And if you die in the game, you die in real life.
Oh boy, staying alive.
Just kidding.
Another game mode is coming. It's called Havoc. It's coming mid-season, and Headshots Only, which is also coming mid-season, which is pretty cool. Reminds me of just like that SWAT game mode from Halo. We'll see how that goes. Some interesting updates. So they're testing the waters with these new playlist modifiers. So they're going to be kind of be on like a rotating basis, but some of them are going to be looping kill streaks. So this one is like say you have a 3-5-7 kill streak going on, right? So you get your 7 kill streak, but then you get to your 10th kill. You're going to get your first kill streak over again, because right now
Yeah,
Call
you
of Duty,
restart.
yeah, like old Call of Duties used to do that regardless, because I used to run UAV, counter UAV, and advanced UAV and have that shit bitch just rotating rapidly. But they fucking stopped that shit like, I don't know, long time
wonder
ago.
why.
But like
I
now,
wonder why.
now,
Yeah.
now they're testing it here with the modifying one.
Mhm.
And then earning kill streaks. Let me see if I can get to that one on the article. I forget how they describe this one. Let me bear with me here as I scroll through. There's a massive fucking article that they put together. Earning list says receive points added to your score streak if you slay an enemy player with your kill streak. So yeah, it's like older Call of Duties. Remember, like when you used to get the fucking it was always Harrier, Chopper, Gunner, Nuke, because as soon as you got the Harrier, you just call that bitch in and go hide, because the Harrier got 4 kills. You got your Chopper Gunner. You called the Chopper Gunner in. You got 14 kills, and you got your Nuke. Because
Yeah.
in the
Or the
games now,
Harrier got you more than 4 kills.
well, yeah, all you needed was a minimum of 4, but yeah, it was always dead.
And then
dead.
it's going while you're going, and you're just like, let's go.
Yeah. So like it's cool to see that they're adding all of these OG Call of Duty features back to the game that made the game fun. Don't know why they took them out, but here we are.
They wanted to make the game less sweaty, but instead made it more sweaty.
Yeah. Whoops. This one's actually new here. New one that they're throwing in here is called Killstreak Cash. I actually like this one. It says when a player is eliminated, they drop a cache containing the percentage of their earned killstreak progress. Grab the cache and add it to your own progress. So it's kind of like kill confirms, like when you pick up the tag, however far along they were on their killstreak, that's how far along you're adding to your killstreak. And I was like, that's actually a pretty interesting concept. Like you imagine,
thanks for the Harrier, bud.
right? Imagine someone was like on a 24 kill streak and they died, like they almost had to nuke, but then they fucking someone picks it up, they get 1 kill and they get a nuke. You're like, fuck.
Boop, boop. Dead.
And then last but not least, here is a critical countdown event item. During the forthcoming critical countdown event, expect enemies to drop redacted in-game items that can be collected to more quickly progress the event. So we don't know exactly what this is, but we'll see when that happens.
We'll see when it's unredacted.
Yeah. Next up, there are a couple more new perks coming to the game, which is pretty cool. I'm trying to scroll down because they added so much fucking bloat to these articles. First off, you get a mission control vest. This comes at the launch of the season. With this, you can still equip your equipment slots and contain a tactical, lethal, field upgraded glove and gear ×2. This reduces kills required by 1 and your score required by 125 for kill streaks. So it's basically like hardline. So instead of having it as like gloves or whatever it is now you can have it as your vest. But it also includes, this is basically like hardline pro from the old school games, because now earn 1 kill or 125 score for every 2 kill assists or crossfire assists. So like if you had 2 assists back then, it counted as a kill towards your kill streak, and now that's returning, which I actually missed, like having pro versions of the perks. Like that was just pretty dope to have back then. But yeah. And then the other new perk is the compression plate. This also comes at launch of the season. Immediately regenerate health after a primary, secondary, or throwing knife, throwing star kill. Objective captures also trigger health regen. An icon appears on your HUD when this perk is active. So it's already in the game. It's just now being, like, they have it so like you can mix and match like different pieces of gear, but they do the same thing. But like some of them take certain ones away, and it's just a very convoluted process. I hope this is not around next year's Call of Duty. I like the old school perk system. It seems like they're tapping into the bag with a lot of old school Call of Duty stuff, because you're getting new kill streaks, and with this, you're bringing back the IMS, which was from the OG Modern Warfare 3. I still remember that sound. You fucking walk by that shit and was like, doo-doo-doo. And it was like a mine that fucking would go up and then fucking shoot down at you, and you're like, "Yep, I'm dead." Like you hear that shit, and you're like, "Fuck."
GG.
It's going to be a 7 kill streak, or if you're doing score streaks, 875 points. Next one is the loitering munition. This one's kind of new. It's an unmanned rocket equipped drone loiters over the targeted area. On each activation, the drone selects the targeted location with the largest number of viable targets to bombard it with rockets, and can be activated up to 3 times. This is an 8 kill streak or 1,000 score. This is another one that's returning. It's called the missile drone, aka the Reaper from Modern Warfare 3. It's 11 kill streak or 1375 score. It's a small piloted drone controlled by the player that fires guided missiles. So pretty cool there. And this one's kind of like a head scratcher because like the nuke already exists in the game, but they're adding the DNA bomb, which is a kill streak from an older Call of Duty game, which did the exact same thing. But it says redacted for how many kills it takes. The discovery of a DNA bomb, Popov power in Urkistan, is a taste of the tremendous power this brings to the multiplayer match. It can be triggered providing you acquire enough consecutive kills without dying. Once you granted the DNA bomb, you can detonate it, eliminating all players on the opposing team. Unlike the MGB, the DNA bomb does not conclude the match. So I guess that's the only difference. Okay, cool. I like the nuke that ends the game, but it's so crazy like how hard it is to get nukes now. Like they're almost impossible. I never see them in games. Never fucking see them. Where I used to get them on the regular. Like it definitely has changed a lot. Moving on though. Actually no, real quick. New weapons are coming to the game. So you get the Superi 46, which is a submachine gun. The Car 98K finally returns to the game. Can't wait to fucking play with that shit because I need that in Warzone like ASAP. Because Roger, remember when we used to play? That was like the go-to sniper, and it was like, love it. And then you're
Get
also
a kill. Get a kill.
Next up, you're also getting the Reclaimer 18, which is just the SPOS 12 from all the OG Call of Duties. And funny enough, you get a new melee weapon called the Sledgehammer because this game is made by who? Sledgehammer. There's also 8 new aftermarket parks, so you can switch out and get those. Moving on to the next section here, though, Zombies is not getting much of an update. They're just adding unstable rifts, and it comes mid-season. It's not even right at the launch, and that is it for Zombies, guys. Zombies just basically got put to the fucking trash can and taken to the curb already.
What's Zombies?
I haven't even played it, to be honest. I have not touched Modern Warfare 3 Zombies because it's not round based. It's just you play it on the Warzone map, and I'm just like, I don't know. I just don't know.
I don't know if this is my jam.
And then last but not least, Warzone for Season 4 is getting a few updates, nothing too crazy, but Urzikstan is getting a update to the bunkers that are around the map. Gulag is also getting a new update where it's going to be revolving, like there's 4 different versions of the Gulag that are going to rotate through. New mode is coming, buyback solos. This is from like Warzone 1. This already existed before, but when you're playing solos and if you have enough money that's on you, and then you would die, it would automatically buy yourself back. But if you don't have enough money and when you die, that's it. You're out of the match. So that's pretty cool. I kind of like that concept. But other things that are coming out with the Warzone is Specialist Package will be coming to Urzikstan because right now it's only on Rebirth Island. There's also a new vehicle coming, the Polaris RZR. There's going to be loot hot zones, so if that's similar to like how Apex Legends work, like random spots on the map will be labeled as like loot hot zones, and that's where you can find like fully kitted weapons, probably like new perks, kill streaks a lot easier as opposed to like just basic areas where it's like the chances of getting this stuff are very, very slim. And last but not least, there will be new public events. So yeah, Season 4 is pretty jam-packed. I mean, I really applaud Sledgehammer with the amount of content that they've been coming out with, like all of their seasons. Like I just wish the game was good, you know?
Better?
Yeah, like I'm gonna throw up like this is the get it up here on screen. Like this is the little combination of content. There it is. With everything that's coming to the game. Because like I didn't even cover like there obviously there's new Black Cell, new operator skins, stuff like that. There's a new in-season event called Altered Strain. Obviously, you can see the crossover event with Gundam there. Obviously, there's new updates to rank play, like the new charms. I didn't really want to cover that. I think it's really tedious, but yeah, I mean, like this is really action packed.
Cosmetics update. That's all you have to say.
Yeah. But yeah, that is season 4 from Call of Duty, and that rounds out all of the Xbox news. What else is going on in the gaming industry, Roger?
Not much. So let's talk about Shift Up. It's the studio behind Stellar Blade. They've confirmed that there is a PC port in the works and a sequel as well. They also iterated that it plans to expand into triple A with its IP. Hopefully, they'll be able to actually make a. They're hoping that the success from this game translates into a bigger one.
Yeah, it'd be pretty awesome to see. It seems like Stellar Blade has been a really good game this year. I don't know if I'll check it out, but I mean, because it's made by another Korean studio. Because I put up that post
Hmm.
on the social media, I was like this or that, like which Korean studio game has like had the biggest impact, whether it was Liza P or
Hmm.
Stellar Blade, and it's definitely been a really tough one to choose.
And then lastly, for my news this week, is Square Enix has announced that Kingdom Hearts, the entire series, is coming to Steam, as well as the fact that they will be launching Kingdom Hearts 4 in the next few years here,
Yeah, that's
which
awesome.
is actually really cool.
Yeah, this kind of just is like a continuation of last week's news that broke, where they want to go more
Hmm.
multi-platform, get it off of just being on PlayStation, and clearly
They're
they're
tired of taking L's.
yeah they are literally like, this is what we're gonna do, and we're doing it now because that was quick. We
Hmm.
literally just talked about that last week, and they're already doing it. They're bringing a beloved franchise to the PC market that has not, I guess, been playable at all. I mean, obviously outside of
No,
emulators.
yeah,
So that's awesome to see. And we got news that Kingdom Hearts 4 is in development. So that's big time news. It sucks because I've actually never played any of the Kingdom Hearts games. Maybe I should, but I heard that they're really good. Roger, have you played
yes.
pretty much all of them?
I've played all of them and some of the side games.
Okay.
Honestly, Kingdom Hearts is a really fun one, but it's definitely a unique style of game.
Mm-hmm.
It has some issues, like the older games don't play amazingly, but they're not bad.
Yeah.
They definitely take a little bit of growing on you. Some of the navigation through some of the maps is a little bad, but the story itself is pretty jagged because they decided that during their storytelling that they were going to include a story from a mobile game you can't play anymore as a part of the game because the mobile game actually advanced the world story. So like it's like they're sitting here like, it's always sunny in Philadelphia with the board, and he's just like you're like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, so I might have to give it a go one of these days, maybe next year. Because I just got a lot going on trying to get through these games, and I know those games are pretty long.
They
Can't
are
dive
long
into
as
them.
hell, dude.
Yeah, because like right now, like if I'm not playing like small indie games where it takes like 3-4 hours to beat, I'm looking
Hmm.
for games that take like 10 to 14 hours just to beat. Those are more like medium sized games I like to call, and then like anything that's large, it usually has to be like the only big game I play then for the month, and then like I
Hmm.
tackle on some of the smaller ones. So it's kind of like a balancing act that I
A
have going on.
balancing act you got going on there.
Yeah, until next year, because next year I ain't gonna give a damn. If I play Starfield or Cyberpunk 2077, I'm playing that bitch for 4 months in a row, and so be it. I just want to be able to dive into a game and not have to feel like I have to rush through something and miss out on a ton of content. So, really excited to dive into my playlist for next year. But let's round out the gaming news with something actually really exciting here. Respawn Entertainment unofficially announced this, but they're working on a new multiplayer FPS project, and this is due to a LinkedIn post saying, "Hey, they're looking for people that are really good into the FPS market," and this kind of stirred a lot of news because they're like, "Are we getting a Titanfall 3? That'd be
Hmm.
great, right?" Or they were like, "Is it time for?" They were like, people were really questioning the fact like, are they going to do the whole Apex Legends 2? Because obviously we've seen it with Overwatch, we've seen it with CS:GO, and it's like you would just reskin the game more or less, and then it becomes a new one. Smite is kind of doing it, but like Smite 1 and 2 is still going to be active at the same time. So what are they going to do? We have no idea. I mean, this could also but it says multiplayer, so I was going to say like maybe it's an Apex Legends story mode game, but like that can't be true because it's multiplayer unless they're saying multiplayer is like a cooperative game, kind of like Diablo, right? There's 4 players running around the game. Like maybe it's a 4 player game. So I don't know. Any thoughts on this? What would you like to see out of Respawn?
Honestly, I would love to see Titanfall.
Yes,
I'm
please.
kind of bored of like the battle royales. Like they're fun for a minute or two, but like the thing at the end of the day, the games are meant to compete in. Like if you're not actively competing in a battle royale like on the big stage, like it just doesn't feel worth it to me. Like the grind, jumping back in, like what am I doing it for?
Right.
It just doesn't feel as fun half the time.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely have to agree. But yeah, Inhuman, Titanfall 3 with multiplayer like would be chef's kiss, but I'd really like if it does come out, they have to release it at a much better window because they cannot afford to do what they did with Titanfall 2. Titanfall 2 is arguably one of the greatest FPSs of all time, right? But the biggest issue it had is that it released between Battlefield, I forget which Battlefield it was, and Call of Duty. Like you put it between the two juggernauts of the FPS franchise, and you expected this thing to be the gold standard. It wasn't going to happen. And it was so interesting that EA did that to themselves because like they own Battlefield and they own Titanfall, but yet they released them at the same time. Which, if I'm not mistaken,
They only cared about
Respawn
one,
may
let's
or
be
may
honest
not
here.
Respawn may or may not have been owned yet by EA at that time, but regardless, like that was just poor planning. If Titanfall 3 is a thing, do not release it in the holiday time. You have to release it at an earlier time of the year because Call of Duty is releasing October, November every year. Battlefield usually is around the same time as well. So please release it earlier in the year. But yeah, man, without further ado, let's wrap up this week's episode. It was a really short one, only about 45 minutes long. But we do want to thank everyone who did come out and check us out live today, aka Inhuman Line. Big supporter here. Shout out to him. And anyone who does check us out later on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube as well. But Roger, where can the community find you at?
Hey, I'm on Discord. Check me out on Discord if you want to game, party up, or even just talk about stuff.
Shooting the shit. Stealing that from JD because that's his new show coming out soon. Really excited for that. But everyone, you can check me out at Twitter at Mr. Never Chillin _ I put up a lot of content on a lot of my social media, whether it's our page or my personal page. A lot of engaging content, so check it out there. I also post on Threads at Mr. Never Chillin. Xbox is X Never Space Chillin. If you want a game, party up, anything like that, hit me up there. And slide in my DMs at Facebook at Vic Brubacher if you want to come in the show or anything like that, have any questions or concerns. And I do stream over on my Twitch at twitch.tv/Mr. Never Chillin', where I do got to figure out what exactly game I'm going to be playing next up until June 1st because I want to get through a couple more games. So come out to check out my stream. It's usually late night, unfortunately, but I do get a couple early ones in here and there. But either way, we do want to thank everyone again. And until next week, peace.
Press start podcast.